In the quiet moments of our own lives, it is easy to forget that for millions of children, the world is not a safe place. For them, the simple joys of childhood, a game in the park, a story before bed, a day at school, are luxuries they cannot afford. Instead, their days are filled with the sounds of sirens, the fear of explosions, and the constant ache of hunger. They are the innocent victims of conflicts they did not create, caught in the crossfire of adult wars. Their laughter has been replaced by tears, and their dreams have been shattered into a million pieces. These are not just stories from a distant land, they are the lived realities of children in places like Ukraine, Palestine, and South Sudan right now. We must understand that war does more than just destroy buildings and infrastructure. It destroys the very soul of a generation. It steals a child's right to be a child. Every single day, young lives are being reshaped by trauma, loss, and unimaginable hardship. They witness horrors that no person, let alone a small child, should ever have to see. They learn to live with the constant presence of danger, a feeling that robs them of their sense of security and trust in the world. This is a profound injustice, a fundamental violation of their most basic human rights, and it is happening on our watch, demanding our immediate and unwavering attention. The impact of these conflicts extends far beyond the physical scars. The emotional and psychological wounds are deep and often invisible, carried by children long after the fighting stops. Imagine trying to learn your ABCs when you are haunted by nightmares. Imagine trying to make friends when you have been forced to flee your home, leaving everything you know and love behind. For these children, the future is not a bright horizon of possibility, but a fog of uncertainty and fear. Hope becomes a fragile thing, easily lost in the chaos of displacement, poverty, and grief. We have a collective responsibility to protect this hope. This is not a political issue. It is a human one. It is about recognizing the universal sanctity of childhood and our shared duty to protect it. The children of Ukraine, Palestine, and South Sudan are not statistics. They are individuals with names, faces, and dreams. They are sons and daughters, brothers and sisters, who deserve to grow up in peace, with access to education, healthcare, and the love of a family. Their innocence is the most precious resource we have, and we are allowing it to be extinguished. We must act not just out of pity, but out of a profound sense of justice and shared humanity. In Ukraine, the war is a relentless assault on childhood itself. The numbers are staggering and represent individual tragedies. Since the beginning of 2025, child casualties have risen by an alarming 40%, a chilling indicator of escalating violence. But the war's cruelty goes even deeper. Thousands of Ukrainian children have been forcibly deported, torn from their families and their homeland. Reports from March 2025 estimate that as many as 35,000 children have been taken, subjected to so-called re-education in camps designed to erase their identity. This is a systematic crime against the very essence of a child's being, a deliberate effort to sever their roots and rewrite their future against their will. At the same time, in Palestine, a generation is being pushed to the brink of existence. In Gaza, every single child is suffering from severe undernourishment as essential supplies like food and water are blocked. It is a man-made famine where children are the primary victims. From October 2023 to April 2025, over 17,000 children were killed, a number that continues to climb with each passing day. Imagine a world where over 100 children are killed or injured daily. This is the reality in Gaza. Since the conflict escalated, approximately 39,000 children have become orphans, left to navigate a broken world entirely on their own, their lives forever marked by loss. The destruction of safe spaces is a deliberate tactic in these conflicts. In Ukraine, schools and hospitals are no longer sanctuaries but targets. In Palestine, even temporary learning spaces are not safe, with hundreds being shut down due to attacks and displacement. This denies children their fundamental right to an education, a right that offers a pathway out of despair and towards a better future. When a school is bombed, it is not just bricks and mortar that are destroyed. It is the hope and potential of every student inside. We are witnessing the systematic dismantling of the pillars that support a child's development and well-being. The trauma inflicted upon these children is a wound that will fester for generations. In Gaza, over 485,000 people are suffering from mental health disorders, a crisis that disproportionately affects the young. In Ukraine, children live under the constant threat of aerial assaults. How can a child feel safe anywhere when the sky itself can bring death? We see their faces on the news, covered in dust, their eyes wide with a terror that no child should ever know. We must look beyond the headlines and see the individual souls who are being crushed by this violence, and we must demand that it stops. While the world's attention is often focused elsewhere, a catastrophic crisis is unfolding in South Sudan and neighboring Sudan. Here, the weapon of war is not just bombs and bullets, but hunger. This region is home to the world's largest hunger crisis, a silent emergency that is devastating millions of lives. In Sudan, an unimaginable 24.6 million people are facing acute food insecurity, and this catastrophe is spilling over into South Sudan. More than 1 in every 3 children is acutely malnourished, their small bodies wasting away from a lack of food. This is not a natural disaster. It is the direct result of conflict that disrupts farming, blocks aid, and destroys livelihoods. The situation is made even more dire by the rapid spread of disease. A deadly cholera outbreak that began in Sudan has now crossed into South Sudan, preying on communities weakened by hunger and displacement. Since July 2024, there have been over 84,000 suspected cases and thousands of deaths. Children are especially vulnerable. Over 5.7 million children under the age of 5 are at risk from this preventable disease. Their immune systems, already compromised by malnutrition, cannot fight off the infection. They are trapped in a vicious cycle where hunger makes them sick, and sickness makes it impossible to recover from hunger. The violence that fuels this humanitarian disaster continues to escalate. Since early 2024, fighting in South Sudan has killed hundreds and displaced over 125,000 more people, forcing families to flee their homes with nothing. They are running from indiscriminate bombardments and ground attacks, searching for a safety that does not exist. The presence of foreign forces and the flow of weapons into the region only add more fuel to the fire, violating international arms embargoes and making it even harder for peace to take root. For the children of South Sudan, every day is a struggle for survival against overwhelming odds. We cannot turn away from this suffering just because it is not always on the front page. The children of South Sudan have the same right to life, health, and a future as any other child in the world. They are being starved by a conflict they have no part in, and their silent cries for help must be heard. The international community has the power to intervene, to restore life-saving food and medical aid, and to pressure leaders to silence the guns. We must not allow an entire generation to be lost to famine and war. Their lives are just as precious, their futures just as important. The suffering of children in Ukraine, Palestine, and South Sudan is a stain on our collective conscience. It is a stark reminder that when adults wage war, children always pay the highest price. We have international laws and conventions designed to protect the innocent in conflict, yet they are being violated every single day with impunity. These children are not asking for the impossible. They are asking for the basics, for safety, for food, for medicine, and for a chance to go to school. They are asking for their childhood back. This is a promise that the world made to them, a promise enshrined in the Universal Declaration of their Rights. It is a promise we are failing to keep. Therefore, our response cannot be one of passive sympathy. It must be one of urgent and decisive action. For the children of Palestine, this means demanding an immediate and permanent ceasefire and the lifting of the blockade on Gaza so that life-saving humanitarian aid can reach every child in need. For the children of Ukraine, it means demanding the immediate return of every abducted child and providing the support necessary to protect them from relentless aerial attacks. For the children of South Sudan, it means restoring critical food and medical aid and enforcing the arms embargo to protect civilians from further violence. These are not political choices, they are moral imperatives. As we look toward the future, we must place the needs and rights of children at the very heart of all recovery and rebuilding efforts. Rebuilding a nation is not just about reconstructing buildings, it is about healing a generation. This means investing in mental health support to help children process their trauma. It means building new schools and ensuring every child has a safe place to learn and dream again. It means creating programs that reunite families and support orphans. The resilience of children is extraordinary, but they cannot recover on their own. They need our unwavering support to help them build a peaceful future from the ashes of conflict. This is a call to action for every single one of us. We must raise our voices and demand that our leaders prioritize peace and diplomacy over conflict. We must support the organizations working on the ground, delivering aid under the most dangerous conditions. We must refuse to accept a world where children are considered acceptable collateral damage. The children of Ukraine, Palestine, and South Sudan are our children. Their future is our shared responsibility. Let us come together to silence the guns, to heal the wounds, and to build a world where every child is safe, cherished, and free to reach their full potential. This is the only way forward.